It was a rough day in upper lower Michigan yesterday, and I'm going to bring you footage of the tornado that touched down in Gaylord, Michigan. I have muted these clips because, as you can imagine, some of these people were a little excited, and I don't want them to be embarrassed by their reaction, although I will say the gentleman in this car was cool as a cucumber, and my hat's off to him. He kept his passengers calm. Reading excerpts from the Detroit News, the tornado that touched down in Gaylord on Friday was an F3 with winds of 140 miles an hour, causing 2 deaths and 44 injuries, according to officials and the National Weather Service. The twister ranks 16th in injuries and 21st in fatalities in Michigan since 1950, according to the Weather Service. Deaths and injuries are a rare occurrence during tornadoes in Michigan, said Jim Kaiser, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Gaylord. Quote, normally these tornadoes have to go through populated areas. So the tornado that happened to hit western parts of Gaylord, a mile further west, for example, it probably doesn't hardly impact anybody at all. So some of it is sort of statistically just sort of randomness that it happened to hit a population center, and that just doesn't happen often. The last tornado to cause more injuries than Friday's tornado in Gaylord was on July 2nd, 1997 in Highland Park, where an F2 tornado injured 90 people, Kaiser said. There have been 7 total deaths in Michigan due to a tornado since 1990. Among those 7, this is only the second time in the last 32 years there have been multiple deaths from one tornado, he said. That's pretty rare. The state averages about 15 tornadoes annually. The occurrence is even rarer for Otsego County, Kaiser said. Looking at the tornado data the Weather Service has tracked since 1950. This is the 5th tornado to ever be recorded in the county since 1950, but the other previous 4, none of them actually impacted Gaylord, he said. There have been 5 that have at least touched somewhere in the county or in the last 70 years, but the first one to actually directly impact the most population center, which is Gaylord. According to AccuWeather, meteorologists first noticed the impending severe weather event before noon on Friday. The AccuWeather forecasters pinpointed between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. to be the most likely time for a tornado. AccuWeather said it began sending urgent alerts at 3:28 p.m. to local businesses and throughout its mobile app to warn that a tornado was imminent. The National Weather Service issued a tornado warning at 3:38 p.m. Friday for Antrim and Otsego counties, which includes Gaylord. Residents were warned of the imminent tornado through code red alerts to their cellular devices. Gaylord does not have tornado sirens. I find that extremely curious. I grew up in a very small town a couple of decades ago at least. We had tornado sirens. I remember them from when I was a little girl. Our fire and emergency rescue services were all volunteer the whole time I was growing up and didn't become a paid department in the city until I was an adult. The town I live in now, that I've retired to, has a population a quarter of the size of Gaylord, and we also have tornado sirens. If my southern friends and neighbors would be so kind as to remember the 46 families affected by the tornado on Friday, we would be very appreciative. That's all I have for you at this time. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow.